One of our target members from Virginia, Lynn, recently came to California and managed to squeeze in time for a live lesson right here. And she was gracious enough to say, go ahead, use it as a fly-on-the-wall video. These, of course, are videos I shoot with most of my students who are sort of local because they come see me every week. So anyway, but Lynn's lesson turned into, we went over all kinds of things. She mostly wanted a little help with a finger-picking song. Started off with God Rest You Merry Gentlemen, but then we started talking about Blackbird and the difference between the way I teach it, using it as a finger-picking song to learn alternating bass, and then the way Paul McCartney really played it with this little strumming thing. So we talked about that for a while. Then we went into another finger-picking tune, another looking at God Rest You Merry Gentlemen, Christmas tune, where there were some really specific things that she did not quite get about piecing it all together. So then we went into Deck the Halls, working on it, trying to piece a chord progression and a melody together just sort of on her own. So there was a lot of stuff in this lesson. By the end, it was a good thing we recorded it because there's no way either of us could remember everything that was in there. So here are some excerpts from the lesson, but this is just a feature that we have at Totally Guitars that is part of the Target program. All of our Target members, of course, have access to well over 100 fly-on-the-wall videos and hundreds of other lessons. But these fly-on-the-walls are just so valuable because they see a real student working on real problems or situations and get to see how we work on solving them. And almost every time there's something in there for everybody that can apply to them and help their playing move on to the next level. So here are a few excerpts from this. This lesson was well over an hour. It's broken up into 6 parts at the site, and each one had just great info and revelations, I think, for both of us. I learned something teaching pretty much every time I talk to a student. I pick up teaching pointers. So hope you enjoy this, and if you like this and would like to check out more of it, be sure to come visit us at Totally Guitars and think about joining the Target program. So how'd you find the site anyway?
You know what? I was looking around for fingerstyle. I might have tripped over one of your YouTube videos where I might have been looking for a song. I don't quite remember, and
how long ago was that, probably?
Maybe 6-8 months ago.
Okay.
I'm not sure. And I pretty quickly signed on for the Target because I looked down all the lessons that I wanted. Yeah. So I signed on for the Target thing, and just before that, I think I had been on another fingerstyle, but you take apart the songs and have all the, this is what the left hand's doing, this right hand's doing, and I find that the teaching style works for me.
Good.
As long as I can pay attention. I told you, I get stuck, and then I end up sort of giving up, and I'll show you what happens with the finger picking.
Okay.
Okay. So if I played you something that I've known for a long time, say,
Yeah.
So obviously, I don't practice with a metronome.
That's not bad though. No, you got pretty good sense of timing there.
And I caught myself anchoring
you
my
got the
finger.
anchor, that's okay.
I've been working on that ever since you said not to do that. Now, I'm unlearning 40 years of bad habit here. All right?
Yeah.
So, but I am finding that I can, if I remind myself.
If you start using your third finger more and even work on the easy exercises like House of the Rising Sun that works it in there, it'll start feeling more comfortable. Because most people that anchor only use 2 fingers anyway.
That's right.
And so it's not as detrimental. That's how Stephen Grossman plays. It's how almost everybody plays. Doc Watson probably does it too. I haven't seen a good picture of his hand when he's doing stuff like that, when he's doing his finger picking songs.
But I know that I can, I'm trying to improve my technique because that's what we want to do.
Yeah.
All right, so, and I've not used this guitar
That's a song
before,
I keep meaning to get to as well too. It's one of those,
it's a fun one. For like Blackbird, I looked at yours, I looked at others. I had, everyone has a tab up for that. So, is that 12?
Yeah, it looks different, huh? Yeah.
Oh.
That's okay, don't worry, yeah.
Okay. So that's just to give you a little flavor.
Yeah, it's kind of a hybrid version of a lot of different techniques.
It
is, whether you use your first finger for this note, or sometimes get a double bass in there and stuff. Might be good to sort of get more consistent with which version how do you want to play it?
Right.
And like even the version that I have has your thumb playing this bass note all the time, right?
Yeah.
Now, that's not what Paul really does, and what he does is more free form. I'm sure I must explain this in the lesson, because he does this more little tapping. And so he's got this half-picked, half-strummed thing that is, frankly, kind of difficult because it's so free form with what he's doing there. Yeah. So, I teach this song for people to really develop a better sense of just keeping the thumb going and being consistent with whatever the first bass note is. The second one is always this open G string. So whether you hear this, kind of the difference between this and this, that second bass note's a little more prominent when you play it with your thumb because it hits it a little harder, and it makes it sound a little bit closer to the tapping that he's doing that is more percussive than anything else.
All right.
What's next? What else have you been messing with?
Well, I've been looking at God Rest You Merry Gentlemen.
Oh yeah, okay.
And that's sort of a perfect example of how I can read tab, but something happens, and maybe it's the pattern. Like I'll start to play it. Now I don't have it memorized, and if we can pull it up,
sure.
I can show you my failure to actually read it well.
Okay.
And it just feels like I get lost, and then I get frustrated, and then I sort of go off on my own way, which then end up with the result that you just heard in that one.
Yeah.
I can't think of the name of the song.
Yeah, Blackbird.
Okay.
There you go.
Yeah.
It'll take a second.
Okay.
Still waking up the hard drive.
Yeah. I can't.
And I think that note comes. Oh.
Yeah.
It just disappeared. Huh? Yeah. And there's a bass note in there. Okay. We're 1 minute away from.
Yeah. That's all right. We're patient.
Visual aids, I guess.
Yeah. Okay.
So.
Do you wanna?
Let me try it. Sort of get it back in my head. Now this is the kind of song that I would improvise with.
Absolutely.
Basically we've got this melody.
Right.
Something like that.
Right. And when I saw it was a 7, I said, forget it.
Okay.
I look at the numbers and I go, oh, it's a 7. I'm not gonna, But that sort of jazzing it up makes me feel more comfortable with it. It makes me know that it's not like a set something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I thought, okay, I'm gonna give it a try because it seems like things I've played before. So, see, I've got the
right. So I would switch
fingers
fingers right there. Yeah.
Okay.
So the hammer on, so the melody, right, and then the right, yeah, and then now this is a chord change. Okay, so you might have noticed I was playing that. You could always tell what chord I was playing, right? So you need more of that. You need to be thinking of the chord progression of the song first. But you give me that other guitar. And this was probably more similar to yours.
And you said that on the lesson, that you're anticipating where you're going.
Right. A lot of times the melody note is coming before the bass note of the chord. But it looks like one thing that would be really helpful for you is to even just strum the chords and hear the song. So being familiar with the chord progression, so A minor to E, back to A minor, maybe a G in there, or at least G in the bass. Yeah.
Oh, I'm doing the first line there.
That's okay, that's perfect. Yeah. It was an E right away, right?
Oh.
Take from the D minor, 3, 4. And that's a D with F sharp in the bass. So coming from A minor, all you have to do is something like that. It's all, yeah.
I've worked on the...
Yeah, those quick changes, those one beat. Yeah,
I do it just all as a pinch.
Yeah. Okay, so having the chord progression...
so think about the chord
first.
Yeah.
And you should be able to strum through the song and hear the melody. Okay?
Right.
Then you might even play it only playing the bass notes. You know, one bass note per beat. So 2 bass notes for an A minor chord, then change chords.
Okay.
And then do an E chord, and 2 bass notes for an E, which would be, yeah. So, you know what, you shouldn't even be looking at the bass notes.
No, okay,
so,
right.
So, okay, just think about this. If you have a measure of A minor and E, what you're going to do in the bass, and now back to A minor, for another 2 beats, to G, to F, for 4 beats, 4 beats though, so for a whole measure, and then to E. Okay. So play that all again. Now just do that, looking at the chord names up here and thinking about the bass notes. Go a little slower.